Welcome.
Before you even go, click the timer first.
Oh shit!
And I know Chris is gonna leave this into YouTube. So hey, YouTubers, y'all see this? You're seeing it. It's not me. You did not click it.
Yeah, it's clicked.
All right, go ahead. Do your thing.
Welcome.
Welcome back to the CruiseLine podcast. Y'all, it's your boy King Ampo and my brother Juice. Today we got a very special guest in the building, and I'm excited to introduce Ashley to you guys today, man. Ashley, welcome to the CruiseLine podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. We are lit today. So on the CruiseLine, we say basically it's a boat moving from one continent to another. So what our viewers and us say is pawn. So you got to do the pawn sound before we go into it. So on three, we're going to give Ashley a warm welcome. 3, 2, 1. But man, Ashley, you want to introduce yourself to the viewers for those who don't know you? What is there to know about you? What you do? Everything. Give them the whole nine.
My name is Ashley Yoder, and I live currently in Kansas City, and I run AYO Entertainment. So that covers concerts, promotion, casting, creative directing, nightlife. Really anything nightlife. I can hire, I can train, all that. So it really covers a lot.
That's Ashley, y'all. So for all the girls out there who want to get into the entertainment business in Kansas City, Overland Park, Lawrence, hey, that's who y'all need to hit up. But
that's the plug right there.
Man, Ashley is a Jayhawk, by the way. And I can't wait to hear some of the Jayhawk stories, because for us that have been here about like 5 years, we got our versions of the stories, but it's always good to hear from our seniors.
Yeah.
And what you guys went through was the hawk was, like brothers, all those spots. Like,
yeah.
What was your typical, did your party start on Thursdays or Fridays?
Our party started on Wednesday.
Oh, y'all heard it?
Sometimes Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Wednesday.
We had the Quitten's Tuesday, the Hawk on Wednesday, and then Thursday was Tonic. Friday was the Hawk, and then Saturday was the Cave.
Oh my God. I've been hearing so much about Tonic, bro. It seems like we missed out on that
was
because it seems like Tonic. Tyshawn talked about Tonic.
Yeah.
Then you go to the courts, everybody's talking about Tonic. So we missed out pretty much is what it is.
Yeah, and you guys missed out on Brothers. Brothers had a prime time too. We were doing that either Friday or Saturday, but every year it kind of changed.
Oh my God.
But Brothers was like the spot.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Brothers was a little bit popping.
No, you came when it was dying down, bro. I think I got to experience, because I came around 2018, 2019, either or. But Brothers used to be jumping. I remember that. I think it's shut down now, honestly.
It's closed
right
now.
I'm very sad about that.
I know, that's crazy. But you were probably here during Quentin's era as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that was
I
every
heard
Tuesday.
that was also a spot. Like,
yeah.
Quentin's
wasn't open whenever you guys were here?
Never.
No,
not at all. So it's been like 5 years.
It sounds like a folktale.
I think that's where Ale House is now, but like it I don't know. All we heard were the stories like,
Ale House to shut down.
Ale House to shut down. So it's just like the bars are just, plummeting. But Wednesday night is when everything went off.
Yeah, that's like, I really want to say Tuesdays because of Quentin's, but like
God.
we were doing Wednesday at the Hawk for $1 night.
What was your major?
Sports management.
Oh my God. Maybe I should have done sports management. Y'all got to party from Wednesday.
I still had 8 a.m. I still had 8 a.m.
And you still
classes.
had to run it back?
How did you do that?
God. You pulled it
I don't
off.
know how I did it because I couldn't do it today. I still remember it was a Thursday morning and I had a class at 8 a.m. in Budig. Is it Budig?
Right, yeah.
And there was a girl walking in front of me and she just like had to stop and was like throwing up in the bushes in front of me. And I was like, I'm gonna be close if I like watch her. So I was like, I just gotta keep going. I almost might not make it to my 8 a.m. Yeah,
So,
we did it.
Tuesday, Quentin's, you got out of class, let's just say 3 p.m.
Yeah, I think 5 would be like the latest. It just depended on what classes I had.
And then it was like, hey, we at Quentin's. And
yeah, it was like $2. I think Quentin's was $2 something on Tuesdays.
Right.
So we would go there.
What would you say was the best part about? I've never partied in Lawrence on a Tuesday, so I need to like educate me on
Tuesday.
That's just where everyone went, so you knew you were gonna see like all your friends. You like it was just like a routine. It was like Quentin's tonight. Yep, I'll be there. See you there. So it was just like there was a routine on like what night was what bar.
Right. So why? where's that now? Or are we just not getting the memo? Like
yeah, and I want to say all of us like alum that were around my time, like we even got together during the KUK state football game, and everyone's like, "Oh, we should go hit this place." Like, "Oh, it's closed," and we're like, "Damn, let's go hit this place." We're like, "It's closed," and we're like. And we're all trying to like kick it somewhere, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you guys got like, what's the spot where Tonic used to be? Logies.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, Logies really it." And they're like, "That's it. That's all there is to do." They're like, "Yeah." So even as like alum, we're like, "Damn, it's not the same."
I'm sure Logies doesn't hit. I don't know what Quentin's used to look like, Tonic used to look like, but
it had like a bar side, then it had like a club side, and then it had like a back patio if you like wanted something more chill.
Right.
So there was just options, and I just feel like Logies is more like it's like a college bar Applebee's to me.
That is a good point.
That's what
it gives
Chris,
Applebee's.
That's what Chris was saying one time.
Because Chris showed me a video of Tonic, and I was like, "Why did this shut down? Like this looked like a vibe." Because I mean, Logies they opened the patio now, so that's cool. But it's cold, you know, so it's not hitting the same like during summertime.
Well, and inside is like really bright.
Right.
Like they don't dim the lights much, so
I think
it really feels like an Applebee's or like a Chili's or
maybe it depends on the night.
Like sports, if there's like a game on or something, I think they just kind of like leave the lights on, which is, and they serve wings.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely.
I think
Applebee's.
I got like some fries or like cheese curds or something. Whenever I went there, I was like, "What is going on right now?"
Did it hit?
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but I was really drunk. So
it's just like
I don't know if that's a
good or a bad thing. A good description.
Yeah.
But yeah, they serve wings. So you're just like calling it the Applebee's bar is actually a perfect description because Logie serves food and you got a whole bunch of drunk college kids in there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely
crazy how the line is always like so long at Logie's. Yeah. And like you go in and it's just like what the fuck is going on in here, bro?
It be empty half the time too. But I think it's more like a crowd control thing, but I don't know.
I don't know what's so special sometimes.
I'm not a fan of Logie's personally because of the music, you know. So I haven't been to Logie's in like over a year now. But when I first got here freshman year, we used to be at the Hawk for a little bit and then go to Brothers. And then after Brothers, it was the after party, you know. So that was our like routine, and it'll start on Thursday. So when I heard you say Tuesday, I'm like, holy, you know, like
those are the good old days,
man. But what would you say? Were you doing? I would say like branding and awareness and like creative directing while you were in college. Would you say like just playing around with it?
No, my priority while I was here was sports management, and I was a strength coach. I worked in equipment, and that was my full commitment. I didn't even think I was going to go into entertainment or nightlife at all. And, you know, working those internships where they're unpaid, you're working 40, 50 hours a week. I needed to pay rent somehow. Right. And my friends were like, you need to go bartend. And you can just bartend on a Friday and Saturday and make enough money to pay your bills. And so that's what I got into. And that was simply just to pay bills.
Right.
Because I needed something on a Friday or Saturday night. And so I was bartending. And then after I graduated college, I applied for some jobs and like the pay was awful, the hours were awful, and I continued bartending. And then I got into serving, and I was like, you know, I really love this industry and it pays well, and you know, I don't work that much, like the hours aren't bad. And so that's whenever I switched my focus to nightlife, and that probably happened a year after I graduated college. Was whenever I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to go this direction and no longer work on the sports side. But yeah, I'm really glad I went. I have a passion for both, but whenever it comes to the money is...
you got to go get your paper, get your check.
You think you ever go back into sports management?
I've talked about, you know, whenever I get older, like kids and stuff like that, I would love to move back to Lawrence and work for KU Athletics. So I'm glad I have that in my back pocket and I have the experience I do because I loved working for KU Athletics. And I think it'd be a great place to raise kids too. Yeah. So I would not mind moving back here and raising kids and working for KU Athletics and being back involved in that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say where try to hire me, but it was in the sports world and I had to show up at like 6 a.m.
Oh, for the video stuff?
Yeah. And the pay was like under minimum wage.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? And I was like, man, that's what they really be doing out here?
Do they not like educate you guys on the pay while you're getting a degree? That's
No, and that's
crazy.
something else. Like to all my sports management majors, it's an amazing major. I loved every single class I had, but it is not. It does not have a high success rate for jobs after college, because you have to think, if the Royals want to hire someone to work their marketing, they're not going to hire a sports management major that just took one class over sports marketing. They're going to hire a marketing major.
Right.
Or accounting. They're not going to hire someone that just took sports accounting one semester. They're going to hire an actual accountant.
Right.
So that was where I thought I was going to be set. And I was like,
Right.
I have so many, great references. I worked for a great university. I'm going to have no problem getting a job. But these really big, major leagues and NFL, they're going to hire someone that specializes in that
Like
one
full
thing.
on.
field.
Yeah, and not just someone that took a class
a
over
semester.
it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where I wish I would have been more educated on that. But I loved my classes.
Yeah.
Like I looked forward to learning about stadiums and arenas and stuff like that.
Right.
So
I mean,
Would you
everything
say-
happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
What'd you say about managing like athletes and stuff like that? Is it something you thought about?
Like an agent.
yeah, I've definitely thought about it, but I also don't want to. I feel like they would hire also someone that
Because
specializes
that's different,
in that.
right? That's like you did like sports management in general, right?
Yeah.
So you took like a little bit of everything, right? So like marketing management. What's the one where you guys got to make sure their bones are good and stuff? Like,
Is that physiology, or are you talking about like anatomy?
like, did you have to study anatomy and stuff of like the body?
Anatomy and
Right,
physiology. I
right.
did
So,
have
like,
to take a class on it.
Right. So you got like all these little pieces of everything, but not like a one
Yeah. One
type
avenue.
deal. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got really close to working for Sporting KC. They needed someone for equipment, and I loved equipment. And they were like, it's 40 hours a week. You have to work all 11 home games, even if it's on like a Saturday or Sunday. And the pay is $19,000 a year. And I
Wait,
was
what? A year.
I remember calling my dad. And I was like, hey, I got this job
How
offer.
much
And
is
he's like,
that
oh,
an hour?
that's
Like
awesome.
5 hour?
And I told him, and he's like, do not take that.
my
my dad was like, do
God.
not take it. And then I asked him in the interview, like,
I'm trying to
what's
go
the...
to my calculator right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
I had to break that. What?
And I asked if I could bartend on the side to make money. They said no, I needed to be available. Like if they had shipments coming in, I need to be available to like receive
Do they
it.
think you don't got a degree? Like what?
Man,
What?
That was kind of like
That was a
whenever
wake-up call?
I took the turn
Yeah.
to do nightlife, and I was like, that
crazy.
might just be a little sign for me.
So the nightlife, you get to the nightlife, you switch over. You're like, no, I'm not dealing with this sports world because this is crazy. I'm not gonna make no money. I'm gonna be broke. Pretty
Yeah.
much is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
What was the first gig? What was the turning point in the sense like, okay, you knew you wanted to do nightlife because you like to be with people, interact with people, and all that. What gig did you get first that you? After you tested it out, you were like, oh, I definitely want to do this. Besides the
So I
bartending
was kind of
and
already
stuff.
in something, which is what made me saying no to that job much easier.
Okay.
My last year living in Lawrence, I was driving to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So I would drive to Kansas City and work for a place called Hotel Nightlife.
Okay.
Or Hotel Nightclub. And it was so cool to me because I'd been coming from Lawrence. And this
Right.
is like a really big nightclub. And they do things much differently than you would ever see in Lawrence. We have confetti coming from the ceiling, and everything is just really, really large scale coming from Lawrence. And I was like, this is awesome. I love this. I
on
love
top
being
of
in
the
this.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was much easier to say no to that job whenever
Right.
I had Hotel Nightclub as my job at the time.
Right.
So
That's
Wait,
dope.
It was-
where you from?
Wichita. I'm actually from Wichita. And then I moved here for college.
Okay.
And that wasn't...
that's not much of a big switch, is it? Like Wichita to Lawrence, is it kind of like the same bars?
Yeah,
you know.
it's like the same.
Yeah.
Well, and I left when I was 18, so I didn't
Okay.
really get to
Yeah.
experience
Right,
a ton in Wichita. But still, like going back
Yeah.
to Wichita, I'm like, yeah, this isn't Kansas City.
Nah, I've been in Wichita before. Yeah, it's definitely not Kansas City.
Yeah.
But you're doing that, and the tips are great. The money is good. What would you like for girls who are getting into that now? What is your little piece of advice for them? Because I mean, some of them are like, you see it on social media, they're like really excited because it's on TikTok. Everyone, like bottle girls or like people in their industry are like posting their checks or like, this is good. What's the, you know, the good and the bad?
It's the blueprint.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. And I tell every single person I come across that it is not for everyone. And if you cannot handle like really chaotic things for a short period of time, it's not for you. Like it's just too overwhelming for some girls because you never know what you're going to come across. You have people grabbing you. You have people yelling at you. You have people falling down. You have people throwing up. You have, and then, you know, with bottle service, you have, let's say you have like 20 tables in the place. You have about an hour or so, an hour and a half to get all 20 tables their bottles. So it is just a really, really chaotic like hour. And then once all the tables have their stuff, that's whenever things like calm down a little bit.
Right.
But from the moment where tables start showing up, they're all demanding their bottles right away. Everyone wants their bottles at the same time. So it's just really, really chaotic. But I like thrive and like chaotic I thrive on just like making it all work and making it all happen. And it's a good feeling whenever you're like, yeah, we just killed that. We got everyone their stuff. And I like it. But I like that type of environment. And some girls are like, no, I want to be behind the bar. So some girls do better as bartenders where they're like, no, I don't want to be going through the crowd. I don't want to deal with tables. I just want to serve people at the bar.
Right.
So everyone has like a preference.
Right. You guys got to look good. So when you look good and you're working, you know, dudes are going to pull up and like, oh, yeah, I want her to do this. But some dudes get the wrong memo because they're like, oh, if they're dressed like that, certain bottles, I got a shot.
You got to smile.
Yeah.
That's from your facial
it's like
reaction.
The ones that like aren't used to it or didn't come from around it. Like I dealt with it in Kansas City because P&L I felt like was like all like the really, really small cities around Kansas City. P&L is where girls were going for their bachelorette parties, where men were going for their bachelor parties. And I call it like a Midwest Vegas because it's these people that aren't going to go to Vegas for it. And Kansas City is just the closest thing. So they come to us. But whenever they see us in our outfits, they like look at us.
Because it's new.
They've never seen anything like it before. So it's the ones that are coming from these towns where they've never seen it before. And it's like, I'm wearing a swimsuit bottom. Like, it's not that serious. Like, you see girls in swimsuits.
At the beach and the pool, but they're like, wait, it's nighttime and they got swimsuits on?
And they're giving me liquor? Like,
wait, liquor? Ladies in liquor swimsuits? Okay.
I'm like, I'm literally wearing a swimsuit at the end of the day. Like
it's not, like they think it is. But so what's the worst experience you've had with like dudes just
grabbing me?
Do you think they feel entitled? Like, oh, because you're dressed like that, I gotta do something. Or,
yeah. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, when has that ever worked for you? Like when has grabbing a girl ever worked for you in any place, or no matter how she's dressed? Grabbing like her butt or grabbing, you know, parts of her body. When has that ever like? When has a girl been like, oh my God, give me your number? Or, oh my God, what are you doing after this? Like, when has that worked for you? I really want to know.
You want to understand the thought. What
was your thought process?
The thought process, like what goes into that?
I really want to know when it worked. And then to the girls that are allowing this and are actually wanting to talk to this guy after, you're ruining it for the rest of us. Because it worked for them one time and now they're going to keep doing it. Right. So it's just disrespectful.
Yeah. That doesn't sound
crazy.
Like, hey,
I just don't know when it worked.
But how do you handle that? How do you? It happens.
Not well, normally.
You probably lose your shit, huh?
Yeah, like because you tell yourself like, oh, I'm gonna go tell security. I'm gonna make sure to tell security. But whenever it's in that moment, that you just have like a reaction. And as a man, you would have a reaction if some guy came and like punched you. You like you wouldn't be like, oh, let me go get security. No, you're just gonna have like a reaction.
Yeah.
So every time I've had like a reaction and it's been different, like I might like push them or I might like slap them or like I've like grabbed someone's hand before like really tight and I was like, don't do that again. But they always encourage us to get security and get them out. But in that moment, that's not what's going through my head.
You're here, security's all the way down there. There's no way.
And then by the time I get security and I come back, he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So, it's, I don't know. It's hard to like tell yourself like, no, I cannot react. No matter what he does to me, it's hard.
Yeah. So the clubs that you've worked in and got to like experience their environment, this might be a hard question and you might be throwing some clubs under the bus, but what would you say is the best club in Kansas City?
Oh man, I have to say Hotel Nightclub, but it's
Really?
closed.
It's closed?
But it's closed, and it's been
That
closed.
was one of your first gigs, right?
It was one of my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
spots, and it made it hard because I was like, oh, I'm sure this is somewhere else in Kansas
Mm-hmm.
City after it closed, and I've never found something like it since. And I have like regulars still that were my regulars at Hotel Nightclub, and they will say all the time, like, man, nothing compares to Hotel, nothing compares to Hotel. And
That's crazy. Where were we, bro?
Where was Hotel Nightlife?
it was in Power and Light.
Oh, where exactly where PNL is?
Yeah,
Or
it was
like
all,
just the district?
it was
It was in
inside
one of
of
Oh,
those
it's
it.
places.
inside. It's kind of like Shark Bar. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
it was like
Mosaic or
two
something?
spots down from Shark Bar.
Oh, right. That whole.
And it was just the coolest thing. Like we were coming out in like a really big H,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like a confetti cannon inside of it. We had like a tiered, like 7-foot tall birthday cake that we would all get on. Yeah, and it's like I just haven't found anything like
Yeah,
it.
I haven't seen that one. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe in Vegas or something, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
It
in,
made
like,
everything like hard for me because that was my very first
Right,
spot in Kansas
yeah.
City. And then whenever it closed, I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll find something like it. And I just have not found
just
anything
never
like
found
it.
anything. In Ghana, we party till like 7 a.m.
6, 7 a.m.
6, 7 a.m.
It's
So
crazy.
you were pregame at like, oh, man, you would start pregame at 3 p.m. Day party. I know. And then you go to the hookah lounge after for the second pregame. And then you hit this strip in Accra called Oxford Street. I don't know
No,
if you've seen.
before you even get to that strip, there's a bar right in front of that strip.
You talking about Purple Pub?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So people go to that bar first.
First, get extra lit, and they serve this drink called Amen. So like when you pray,
Yeah.
you say Amen at the end. The drink's called Amen because, listen, the drink is weed infused with alcohol and some other stuff. I've never had it. He has. And when I saw him on
my
it,
gosh.
I was like, yeah, I'm never trying that.
What did he do?
Oh my God. So he gets home
That night
or he
was
gets to my
crazy.
apartment in Accra at like 5 a.m. We got church the next day.
That night was wild.
Dude comes in and I hear a bang on my door like boom, 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 boom.
It was like 4 of us. It was hella people.
I was so pissed.
And
that
we all
night.
got that shit. And I partly don't ever remember that night, but all I remember was because the dude that was driving to had it.
Michael
he also
was
had
driving.
Amen.
Yeah, so I don't know how he was.
So I was
driving.
like, I don't know how the hell we got home that night. Crazy.
bangs the
Crazy.
door, and all I hear is he. I'm like, wait, Gabby, you hear this? What is that?
Paranoid.
So I open the door and I see him. I'm like, well, what is wrong with you? Like, are you well? Like, do you need to go to the
I
hospital?
think you need to start Amen when you wake up so it mellows down. By the time you get to the bar.
And then the person he was with just all over the floor. So I was hot. I was livid.
Yeah, you're like, I'm never
I'm like,
trying
y'all
that
need
drink.
to get out of here like now because you just puked on the floor.
Amen is crazy.
Like acting, oh my God. It was something else. But basically they would do that, and then they haven't even hit the club yet. So and they're partying until 7 a.m. So then I move to Kansas City, to Lawrence, this part of town, and bars and clubs are closing by 2:30, 3 a.m. I'm like, wait, like what the hell? You know?
Yeah, that's
Why is it
in
so
Kansas
early?
City too.
Like,
Well,
why
Kansas
is it
City's
so
2:30.
early? Why is it so early? Or are you used to the 2:30?
I'm used to it, and then I moved to Houston for a short period
Right.
of time, and that was where like 7 a.m. was normal or 6 a.m. was
Houston got a
normal.
lot of Africans too, so that
Yeah.
might be the problem.
So it was
Why-
like, and then I come back to Kansas City after I moved
And
there,
it's
and I was
2:30.
like, there's just no after party spot.
right in Kansas City
Yeah.
for sure.
And there wasn't in
definitely.
Lawrence whenever I was in school here. There was
Yeah.
no after party. It was like when the bars closed, that's whenever everyone
Everybody
went
goes home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you?
I mean, now it's
prefer-
building up though,
Like
or
after
in
parties?
Kansas City.
Oh, for the
Oh,
hookah.
yeah.
Have you been to any hookah lounges in Kansas City?
No, hookah like gives me really bad
Oh
headaches.
yeah, so you don't
Okay.
even do
So-
hookah.
Most of
I
the
would-
after spots now
Yeah.
are like
or just hookah
spots, so-
lounges and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so even your time at KU, it was after the bars and that was it, or they
Yeah,
were like,
whenever the bars closed, that was like our time that we went home.
and you guys were like, okay, it's over, like I'm
Yeah.
done. But now it's like, where the after party at? Like immediately it's 2:30. Everybody comes out of the bars and pubs and clubs.
Yeah.
Where's the after party at? Like there's just so much energy. You don't want to like wrap it up quick.
Yeah, I think that we just knew that there was nothing after. So we were fine with, we knew that like the night was over then.
Yeah.
But I think if you get used to there being something after, that's whenever like places are going to start closing. You're going to be like, man, what's there to do after this? Because you get used to having something after.
Right.
But we just didn't have anything.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Have you traveled like out of the country and like partied outside the country? What's that like? If you
No, because the only time I've been so far, the only times I've been out of the country has been with like my family.
Oh,
so I haven't. Yeah. So it's just been like chill stuff.
Right.
But no, I haven't done anything like crazy.
But the working in the club scene, would you say that's what got you into the music video scene? Because it's like, oh, okay, attractive woman, I would like her in my video. What was the first video you did?
It was more, I think, being in the clubs and like coming across a lot of people that do music were in there and stuff. So I was getting asked like, hey, can you be in my music video? Hey, can you do this? So it was just local Kansas City stuff. I think I was in like 7 or 8 local things. A couple of them were like strange music just because like I was running into people in like Nightlife. Yeah. So that's how they were getting to know me or see me. And then I started taking the photography stuff like more serious because I was like, I need like a portfolio.
Get out there.
I need like something to show people since if they don't know me.
Yeah.
So if they're not seeing me, I need something to show people. So that's whenever I started working really closely with my photographer, doing all different types of stuff just to show like the range. I can play a lot of different, looks. And then I started applying myself to stuff outside of Kansas City once I did have those photos. And that's how I got anything outside of Kansas City.
So would you call yourself a video vixen, or would you say a model in general? Pictures, like.
Yeah, and I still don't even know if I'd call myself a model.
Yeah.
I don't know about the video vixen thing, but I guess like there's not really another term for it.
But like, because you do photography and videos, and you're still like, you have a whole entertainment hub of.
I think until I get paid for being like for modeling.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever like consider myself a model.
Hey, Drake said if
unless
you ain't
this is
in
like
Vogue.
if this is like my income and it's like my income, that's whenever I would consider myself a model.
Right. Okay. That's a good bar to set because you got all these chicks
right now I'm like freelancing this. This is it. I'm no model at all.
That's what some people are doing, and they're
just claiming it. Like you go to their profiles and it's like they're just
a lot of people can be a model on the internet these days. Yeah,
but there's no. Where did you used to work? Your bedroom? Like, there's no,
literally.
But you got to do Thugger. Like, you got to be in Young Thug's music video. And I thought that was dope. Like, because Young Thug got a lot of hits that we grew up listening to. And you got to be a part of.
He's top 2 or top 3 favorite artists. Like, so that was really, really cool for me. The coolest
Travis
part
was in that too. Yeah.
Travis too is like one of the top.
Yeah, that's like top as well, like of people I listen to. So it was really cool. And the thing is with that stuff, like you don't know who it is that you're gonna go be in a music video for.
Right.
And they just told me, hey, you need to be in Chicago at 7:45 a.m. on Monday. And they told me that on the day before.
Tell me they booked your flight at least.
No, I like had to book the flight, but like the pay,
that was the
they
shot.
told me the pay.
Right.
So I was like,
the flight.
Yeah. Once they told me the pay, I was like, okay, so I booked, and this is 2020. So flights were so cheap.
COVID
year. So I think I booked like a round trip last minute for like $250.
Right.
And
that's not bad at all.
I just pulled an all-nighter. Like I went home,
excited,
got ready. I had to leave for the airport at like 5 or something. So then I got into Chicago, Ubered to the location, and it was like a church parking lot. And I was like, am I at the right place? Like,
did you get scammed?
I was like, I'm so confused. And this is my first time doing a music video for this company too. So I was a little nervous. I was like, is this like a scam?
Like, did they get you?
Did they get me? And I was like one of the first people on set. So that was even worse. But then I started seeing people show up and I was like, am I in the right place? Like, yeah, you're good. And then they started handing out paperwork. And that's whenever I saw who
it's for real.
Who was on because it said, franchise and then Thug and Travis. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be so dope. So I start like, filling it out, whatever. And then the coolest part is they get us in these shuttles after we're ready and they shuttle us somewhere else
Wait, from the
shuttle us
church?
So this was just the
from the.
link
This
up.
is just the
the
church
gathering
was the
spot,
link up
not the church. They put y'all in the
the
church real
base
quick.
or whatever. I don't know.
God had to bless the video first before y'all went to do
I
it.
must have needed it or something.
Oh my
I must have
God.
needed that energy. But they pull up to this driveway, and on the gate it said 2-3, and I'm
Michael Jordan's house.
Michael Jordan's
2-3?
house.
Oh
Wait,
my
what?
God, y'all did not. It was Michael Jordan's house.
Michael Jordan's house. And
Oh
I
my
like everything
gosh.
else went out the window. I was like, I'm at Michael Jordan's house in Chicago. Like this is the house he was coming
Oh
to
my
after
God.
all those games. Like that's what got me excited. Like at that point I was like, I don't even care about the music video.
Now,
Like
that's
I'm
why,
Yeah, just
that's
trying
why
to see
they
it.
picked y'all up because they didn't want y'all to see the route. They
Yeah.
just scooped y'all and then
yeah, and I wasn't paying attention. I was
you
just like in
didn't
the
care about
car.
that.
Like,
He was like, all right.
and then like I hit one of the girls. I was like, "This is Michael Jordan's house," and she's like, "What?" And I was like, 2-3. Like I was going crazy. I was
you went
so
to
excited.
KU, so you know you're a basketball fan.
sports fan.
Yeah,
So-
I'm extremely big about Michael
Right.
Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Vince Carter, my three
Right.
favorites, and so I just was freaking out, and I'd seen the house multiple times like on Facebook where it's
Right.
like Michael
2-3
Jordan's
on the
house
gate.
trying to sell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've seen it multiple times. So then we like walk up to it. And, I had to go to the bathroom and they're like, oh yeah, the only bathroom is in like the practice gym. So I was like, I gotta go in the practice gym. So everything else went out the window.
Did you fangirl a little bit before you got
I just
work mode?
I just felt like it was so cool that I was
Yeah.
in that house, or like, I just got to see it. Cause I was like, this is
Right.
this is the place that he was coming to after all those games, like his Chicago house. And so it was that was the coolest part of my day. And then like we shot my part in the cigar room, and that was really cool for me too. And I'm so thankful that it was just randomly chosen where they put girls.
Okay.
Like, okay, you go here, you go here. It had, they had nothing like pre-planned, and they put me at a table where I had to like pretend that I was playing poker.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any cards. I didn't have any like anything. I just had chips. So I was like, okay, I have to pretend like I'm playing poker and
With
I only have chips. And so then I tapped into like, I wasn't even paying attention to anything going around me. It was just like, okay, I need to like really sell this because he comes and sit right next to me. And all the other girls were like, I'm glad you did that because we wouldn't have known what to do. Because I like acting more than anything. I don't want to sit there and just like look cute. Like I want to do
You
something.
want to be active.
So I'm really glad that they gave me like a role where
Right.
I like had something to focus on,
Right.
or I had like a motive. So
What
that
was the Thugger walks in there? You find out on the paperwork that it's Young Thug and Travis Scott. Thugger walks in the room. What was your reaction?
Who walks in first though?
Like where you
Travis.
Travis came in
Yeah.
first. Were you like, oh, like holy shit, like this, like is this happening? Or were you like,
in the
okay,
moment,
we
I
working?
really wasn't.
You were working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. That stuff doesn't bother me. I care so much about like my role
Right.
and producing the best thing possible, for the camera.
Right.
yeah.
And I take it like really seriously because I would love to be an actress one day, or I'd love to have
Right.
like more serious roles. So in that moment, it was just work.
Right.
And then Thug comes in, and the only thing I thought was, oh, he's taller than I thought. That was literally
He's
the
like
only thing.
6'3".
That was the only thing that went through my mind. And then I was like,
from what
I was just like
Yeah.
back to my.
I think we seen him at an NBA game. He's pretty tall.
Yeah.
He's like real tall.
Yeah, like you don't realize like how
Surprising.
tall people are. So I was like, oh, he's taller than I thought. And then like I just go straight back
Travis
to
Scott, the short one though. He was pretty
I don't
short,
remember.
wasn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, he
I don't
wasn't.
remember.
Because
I don't think I thought anything.
Right.
I was just whenever Thug
Just
came
work
in.
mode. Yeah, he was locked in. That's so dope because I found out through I think Skinny. I don't know if you remember this, but the first time we saw you was at his birthday at
Prime Social.
Yes.
Yeah, I told Chris I
Right.
was
Yeah. So Chris was like, "Oh yeah, my friend Ashley's coming, whatever." And then he was like, "She got to do Travis Scott and Young Thug's video." I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
He was hyping up, bro.
You know Skinny. You know how
hyping
Skinny
up.
was. Skinny's a
I
good
love
friend.
him.
Yeah,
I
like
love him.
he would if you throw Skinny somewhere to describe you, he'll make you look good.
He's a
No,
good
he
guy.
is.
Yeah.
He's like a ride or die. For
Yeah,
me.
Skinny is a real cool dude. We're gonna have him on this because that's gonna be the funniest episode ever.
I'm gonna watch that a million times. I'll tell you.
But yeah, so he told us about you, and then I watched the video, and I just thought it was cool. Like it was dope that you got to do that because not a lot of people get to experience that. People on the outside, like me and my brother, doing this whole like podcasting, fashion, entertainment. We've shot a couple music videos. people on the outside just look at it like, oh, it's so cool and you get to do this. But I don't think people understand like the amount of work, that
you put in.
And actually, when you're on set working, it's really work. Like no one's really like, just kind of acting.
You have some people on set trying
in.
to,
like even
around.
Oh yeah, because
but
we shot when we shot Tay's video for him, there were people like you could just tell this is the first time they're on a set. Like they don't get like
and
the
they get so
turnaround times.
frustrating.
Crazy. The long days, because we like to ideally when we're shooting a video, we shoot from morning. We do it in one day, so we start at like 8 a.m. or something, and be done at like 8 p.m. So it's like a full day, and lunch is at 12.
Yep.
So I remember when we were shooting the video, people didn't get the memo. We gave them the information, but they didn't get them. And they're like, "Oh, it's for real? Like long like that?" I'm like, "Yeah." So like you gotta be ready to go. That's why there's free food here, so you can get your energy up. And you have a production company, so I know you understand exactly what I'm saying. Can you talk to the people more about your production house and what your goal is, your vision, and some of the projects that you guys are working on, and how like say girls want to come work for you and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I work for anything I've done has been under Real Goats, and that's just them like bringing me in for something. I don't like work with them like full time. They have like their full time people, but I'm so thankful for them even allowing me to come and just like observe, be part of it in any way, help in any way, because I learned so much. So I knew, whenever I hit 30, I was like, I can't be in these music videos like this forever.
Right.
And I have a really big passion for it. Like I love like telling a story. Like I love the music videos where it tells a story, and bringing that to life. Or I hear songs all the time and I have like a vision of like a music video for it. And so I really wanted to get into the production side, and they brought me on for the No More Parties. And that's whenever I think I truly, I think that's whenever I truly, truly saw how much work goes into it. Like there's 50 people. They're just trying to make this work. And I don't think people understand like watching a music video.
Right.
What all went into making this one scene work, or what all went into making this work. Like how many times did we have to do this? And I just have so much appreciation.
Yeah.
And it was like a 14-hour day.
Like it's a craft. It's not like,
Yeah, and you get tired, but you just have to like
keep going.
Yeah. You have to stay focused. You have like another scene that you need to set up and get done. And they do it to like, they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's cool to watch how they do it and learn from like literally the best. And I'm so thankful that they let me to be part of stuff. And I help with like casting people for stuff sometimes with them. And they're great about letting me help where I can.
Right. So are you guys recruiting, or where are you guys?
I think what they're looking for most from what I see like on their social media is like they're looking for experienced producers like in LA.
Right. So it's top dog stuff right now. They're not looking for like amateurs and kids.
Yeah, that's why I would
college.
have to keep like learning
going.
more
Right.
before I could go in there confidently and know exactly what to do.
Right.
Do you think you ever move out to LA or something?
I don't think so. I think that I love traveling out there, but I don't think I ever want to live out there.
I get to go there in a couple weeks, so I'm about to find out. But I'm like I said, I'm a city kid. I come from like a big city, so I'm used to tall buildings and hustle and bustle.
A lot going on.
I like that. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm used to it. So moving to Lawrence was like the drive from the airport to Lawrence had me like
That is
freaking
probably
out.
the main
was like
reason
one
I
of
do
the
not
most
live
impressive.
here.
Yeah, like
It's
I was
how far it is from my
freaking out though. I was like, what did I do? Like, did I just commit to a college that like it's like in the middle of nowhere where I'm not gonna see nobody? So I'm like, oh my God. So I start texting my parents like they just picked me up from the airport. I'm on the way to college, but all I see is just open fields. Like there's no one here.
And the smell is different. Like you smell like farm. Like it's different.
You don't smell the
like
carbon
there's a city
monoxide
smell
coming out of the cars.
Yeah, and there's a farm smell. That's
can you
what
tell
I
the
was smelling.
difference?
No,
Well, I can tell the difference.
I grew up like in the country.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, for us, when I
I
came
think it
home,
smells good. I'm like, oh my God, it's so fresh.
But I was like, the fresh smell was like different. It was like my lungs were used to being hit with carbon monoxide, and I'm just getting all this fresh air in.
No,
So what is this
I
air?
like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, real air.
Right. But to switch topic real quick, we got to talk about this because social media's been going crazy about the dating scene, places to take girls to, places not to take girls to. Yes, we need to hear Ashley's, like, first off, your dating experience. So dating scene from Wichita, Lawrence, Kansas City. What has that been like? And then not to even talk about the fact that I would say model, although you don't want to claim it yet, like as a model.
That makes it,
yeah. Like what is the dating scene like for you?
Like non-existent.
Non-existent,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you've been on a couple dates.
I actually probably haven't been on a date like where like I go out to eat or something. I couldn't tell you the last time. It's probably been like 3 or 4 years.
You just curve dudes. You be like,
I'm just
nah.
busy.
Yeah.
I am so busy, and Kansas City is so small.
You know everybody.
Yeah, that I haven't even tried to date in Kansas City in
Right.
like 4 years probably.
Mm.
And I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just there to work.
Yeah.
And I think it prevents other stuff messing up work
Like
or distracting it or getting involved. Cause like I work with so many people in so many places that like I don't even want to get involved in something. And, let's say it takes a left and then, it's awkward or I'm dealing with other stuff. I just don't want anything to like affect my work
peace right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've seen the I call it the creepy list, because if a girl could sit down and make a whole list.
Oh, creepy list.
Yeah, a creepy list, because if a girl could sit down and make a list of places where dudes should not take her to, I don't think she needs to be going on dates. I think she needs to be working on herself.
It makes me wonder how many dates like she's actually been
Right.
on.
Like, why is there a list of like, okay, I went here, I didn't like it. Okay, I went here, I didn't like it. Like, when did it become about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Have you seen the list?
Yeah, and I thought it was a joke.
I think
at
she was
first.
serious, but she was serious.
They for real.
Yeah.
I can't agree. And any girl I've talked to hasn't agreed. They're like, yeah,
Like, why would you say that?
So I don't know if it's like maybe a girl in like Miami or maybe it's a girl like in
the
LA,
picture.
but like if you live in Kansas City, you're gonna go to Cheesecake Factory.
Right?
Like that is the spot to go. That's
Right.
like oh we're doing it big,
Right.
So
I don't even think was in my. But her picture, they put her
She's probably
picture
from East or West.
They put her picture next to the list, and I'm not knocking anybody off, but come on now, like you setting the bar way too high. Like, come down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. I could never agree with that. But like a perfect date for me, which just like if someone were to ask, it'd be like going to like a sporting game,
right?
Or like not sporting KC game, but like a sport game.
Event.
Yeah,
like
just
event,
like
the NBA
going
game
and doing something. Or like I'm really competitive, so like let's go to like an arcade or let's go do something like that, like where there a place where there's bags, or I'm just really competitive, so I want to do stuff like that. And I feel like that's whenever like you can like talk and get to know someone. Like if you go sit down at like a super fancy restaurant, I just feel like you're like kind of like being quiet, and I don't know. I just would find it super boring.
Would you be watching how you eat because you don't want the food to kind of like?
Well, I don't even like food from those places sometimes. I just get like the sides. I'm like, y'all are doing too much.
Yeah.
But it's probably like the country girl in me where I'm like, just get me like some mashed potatoes and like some, and like some mac and cheese. Like I'm fine. I really do not need a $70 steak because I don't even like steak that much. So, I don't know. I could not disagree more with that list.
Maybe dudes are not getting to know you before they take you out. They're just like, oh yeah, I want to take you out. I'm taking you here. Like, you know.
Yeah. And then like wearing a dress and heels. I'm like, I mean, I love doing that stuff here and there, but that is definitely not necessary for like a first date to me.
Especially if they get to know you first off, like texting or talking, you expect them not to invite you to certain things.
Yeah.
Right?
And any girl I've talked to, and obviously the girls I've been talking to are in Kansas City. So maybe it's like a bigger city thing where they have that list or where they don't agree with those places. But I think anywhere in the Midwest, no girl would agree with that because we don't have a Mastros. We don't have some of that stuff where girls get used to being taken there.
Right. Maybe Kansas City girls want to go to like Fogo de Chao, like I said the last time.
I don't.
We need to see that KC list, see what they say.
Yeah, we need to see a KC list, y'all. What's the KC list? Of
Eddie V's. I love Prime Social.
Yeah,
it's
Prime
like
Social's lit.
It's super relaxed. Where it's just like finger foods.
The little it's like fish on top of the bread. I get that. Yeah, we got that at your birthday.
Was that the pizza stuff?
Not the pizza stuff. It was like these little bread. It was like toasted. It had like, I'll find the name.
I don't remember what it's
but
called.
Fire. I had to get that twice. Like, and it's small food, but it's just like so good.
Yeah.
Like,
It's really good.
I
It's
love
a
it.
fun environment. Like you can talk and
Yeah.
Skinny got the whole tower that day. Had
Like,
everybody.
I love
lit.
pasta.
Not
And you
spicy.
know
Oh
what's
my
on the
God.
menu too. Like
Yeah,
you look at
yeah.
it, you know, oh, that's that. But some places you go there and you look at the menu, you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
You
like
know?
what are you gonna order? Like
Yeah.
that castle place you went to. What
Yeah.
was it
So I
called?
went to it's called the Wandering Vine. And I seen like there was hella stuff on the menu. I did not know anything on there.
This man
Where
got
was it
dessert.
It's in Shawnee. So we went there
never heard of it.
I think it's new.
It
Plus it's
looks
like
a
really
castle.
low key.
Yeah.
So we went there for her birthday, and there's a lot of things on the menu, but you would not know one single thing on there. So I was like, hey, just show me the dessert menu.
Like, give me some cheesecake or
No,
something.
you know what you do? You go to Yelp. I'm a big like Yelp. I go to Yelp and I look at photos
Right.
to see if I like something. I do that all the time. I'm like, I need to see what it looks like before I order
Googled
this.
some of them, and one of them was like, so I saw pork, and it was a pork pie. I'm like, what the heck is that?
A pork pie?
Pass.
A pie and pork? Like, wait, what?
I was just like, the African in me
I
is
know,
like, you
you
can't mix certain
you
things
can't
together.
mix certain things together.
Like, just give me my damn pork.
Yeah, I
you know,
want the
like,
pork for all. Like it's
crazy.
like ordering. I seen same thing. I had seen pork on a menu, so I'm thinking they're about to bring me like a full pork, and I'm about to use my fork and knife and cut my pork. It was like all pulled apart. It was like pulled pork. It was like just pulled apart and
I
like
hate
straight.
pulled pork,
I was like,
though.
bro, give me my
I just
pork.
need my
Like,
pork,
let me
man.
shred
Come
it how I
on.
want to shred it. But I guess that it is like you said. Maybe the list is like for bigger cities or whatever.
That's what I think.
Again, like I said, they put her picture next to the list. I'm like, bro, you chill. Like you go. way
some
too
people
hard.
be asking for too much, though.
Yeah.
Too much.
That little Instagram Justin LeBoy or something. He said you got on Sheen talking about something you don't want to
Oh
go to
my
a Cheesecake
gosh.
Factory. Girl, chill. Like, girl, please, like, slow down. But you've taken basically you would say you've taken a break off the dating scene completely. Like
At least in Kansas City.
at least in Kansas
yeah,
City.
if I were to
Okay.
talk to someone, it wouldn't be in Kansas City.
Right. Well, so KCR ruled out. Ashley off the market in the Kansas City district, man. But for all the East Coast or West Coast people, they could be like, hey, what you doing? Like,
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
oh my God.
Like I said, like I haven't been on like an actual date. Like
yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
What's the scene different when you were in Lawrence?
Like,
Yeah.
dating
Well, I
scene?
had a boyfriend like the whole time I was
Okay.
here.
in college?
So, yeah.
4 years?
It was like 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
But whenever I first came here, I didn't date anyone. Like my freshman year, I didn't date anyone. And then into my sophomore year is whenever I started dating him.
okay.
And so I really didn't date here at all.
Right.
That was like the first person I dated, or I think I was like talking to people my freshman year, but he was the first person I actually dated.
Mhm.
And I dated him all the way through college, and then I moved to Kansas City.
Mm.
So yeah, I didn't even date here really.
Right.
Just talked to one person.
I think that's like,
Interesting.
usually
Yeah.
goes like freshman and sophomore year, everybody kind of starts to like settle down. But you were still partying though, right? Like you didn't cancel. You
Well,
didn't
yeah,
realize
like
your-
it was like all of us.
like a friend.
It was a
group?
bunch of us coming from like my high school, like my middle school and high school. So we just had so much fun together that really none of us were dating anyone. Like we were just having so much fun, going out, hanging out with each other. We weren't even like my guy friends. Like none of us were really involved with anyone.
Right.
We were just like living our lives.
just chilling, like enjoying.
Just,
and,
yeah. And then that's what like sophomore year is whenever I started talking to someone, and he was like my best friend. So it worked out perfectly. We liked doing the same things. We had the same, like, he got along with my friend group. I got along with his friend group. So it just, it was so smooth. It just had no issues in college because of it.
What did you think about like? Were you in a sorority?
No.
Are you a fan of sorority Greek life?
I wouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
I have friends that did it.
Yeah.
But I'm not good with like
sharing.
sharing my space. Like
Right.
I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not good with that.
Yeah.
Or like sharing a closet or sharing like a bedroom. Or sharing a bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever shared a bathroom.
Right.
Since I left home.
Yeah.
I haven't shared a bathroom.
Right. But you've had roommates though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've all like Lawrence is really good about having like everyone has like their own walk-in
that is
closet
true.
and own bathroom.
Right.
Because I was at the Grove. It's called something else now. And then I was at the Connection.
Connections. Yeah.
And then I was at a house on Tennessee, and then I was at a place over here.
Right.
But I never really had to share a
So
bathroom.
you've been around like the East-West
Yeah.
Lawrence, and so you know Lawrence pretty well. Yeah. Because to hear you, but then again, you're also from Wichita. So to hear you say you would gladly move back to Lawrence and like start your family here,
Yeah.
my brain's like, I'm running away from I'm gone.
Yeah.
Once I get my master's, like I'm going back to the city. Like,
Yeah.
But the older you get, maybe the more you appreciate more,
mentality
like
might
quiet
change. You never
spaces.
know.
Yeah, when I grew up, I had this big photo of New York City above my bed.
Yeah.
And it's like this famous like photo I took with me everywhere. Like whenever I moved here to both places, I lived here, and I think I still have that photo. And I just always was like city life. That's where I want to go to. And I was all about it. I went to Kansas City. I lived downtown for a while. I moved to Houston. I was close to downtown. Moved back to here. I was back downtown. And then just in the past like 2 years, I'm like, I'm good on it.
Yeah, you're tired.
I'm good. Like I'm good on like my car being broke into. I'm good on like walking past homeless people. I'm good on like having to worry, like be aware of my surroundings,
Safety.
getting out of my car. It just gets old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I go back home and life is just easy. Like we don't even lock our cars outside of our house.
Because
Like
you know nobody's going to come.
Yeah.
no. And it's
Yeah.
just, I miss it. And then just like open spaces. And, you know, I grew up with like 4-wheelers and a pond. So I just felt like I liked that more, but I never would have said that prior to like age 28 or after age 28. That's whenever I've been like, I could move back to that.
Right.
But before that, I was still like city life. I want to be in the hustle and bustle. So maybe it is age.
It
that
might be.
Took me back to
Might
like my
be.
beginning.
Yeah, it might be.
You just want a calm, quiet life.
Maybe.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see if I switch.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I want to talk to you again at 32. And
Yeah,
see
talk
what
to
you
me
say.
when I'm 32 and let's see. Because hey, who knows? But for now, like my mind is so
He's big
set.
on like, oh, I need to go to the city.
Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta be in the city.
That was me.
Yeah,
That
like,
was me. I
gotta
wanted
be in
it
the
so
city.
bad, and like I literally had this photo of New York City, and I was like, I want to be in that.
I also think a reason why I'm influenced like that is probably because of the industry like we're in. Like we're doing like podcasts, we're still throwing parties and organizing like fashion stuff. And I feel like the city does move like quick. Whereas because we've been doing this in Lawrence for about 3-4 years now, but we get responses and feedbacks and like it's a vibe. But Lawrence people are laid back. They're not
Too
like
laid back.
you know.
That's why I had to leave here to do the nightlife stuff. I was like,
right.
it would not work.
You definitely ain't
in
working
Lawrence.
with Young Thug and Travis Scott,
Oh,
like
yeah,
hanging
out
out
of
in Lawrence,
Lawrence.
Kansas. Like that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? But before we wrap up, you and your family started a foundation for your sister. I want you to talk to the audience about that and what it represents and, you know, the awareness of everything that has happened. You know, it affected all of us when it happened, you know, and I just want you to be able to talk to the audience about the foundation.
Yeah, so it was obviously very sudden, and I think a huge role that played on, you know, everything happening the way it did was COVID. I can't stress how much COVID negatively affect the college kids at that time because, you know, like I said, I was going out Tuesday through Saturday and everyone was locked up in their rooms. Everything was online. I just felt like they lost the social piece.
Yeah.
And they felt lost. And then being a student athlete. And I have heard from Gabby and a couple other girls that since it all happened, I'm not sure if, you know, my sister's story directly reflected this or not, but they now have like mental health days for the student athletes where if they need like a mental health day, they can have one. And I think that that's recently been incorporated. And so, like I said, like being in athletics, I saw how much the athletes were having to go through. And I was like, man, I'm so glad I didn't do sports
Like, it's a
in
lot.
college because like you're traveling, you're having to take like classes like on the road. You have these tutors, you have weights, then you have meetings, and you have practice. And it took up so much time. So they really weren't being like college kids.
Right.
They obviously had like their nights where they were going out. But like even my sister, whenever she got hurt, I was like, this is like whenever you need to be like thriving.
Like your chill vibe.
Yeah, I was like,
get
you don't
be
have to go
home.
to like the practices right now. You don't have to be going to all this stuff. Like, just go and be a college kid because you have not been able to do that yet. Like, I would tell her stories. She's like, oh yeah, I haven't been able to do that. And so I felt like she finally got to be like a college kid. But I think it just takes such a role on people. And now the foundation is focused on student athletes. And they are getting testimonies from like girls in all sports. Like there's a softball girl, there's a soccer girl, and they're all telling their stories. And I'm glad there's like more awareness to it, because parents and coaches and stuff like that, like, yeah, these people are athletes, but they're also kids.
Right.
They're kids at the end of the day, and they're not like LeBron James. They're not these people where it's like that's their job. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, they're getting like scholarships and stuff, but I still feel like
The social life is needed.
the social life is needed, and some of them feel too much pressure from the sport. And I think it's a lot for kids.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was like an adult at 21, but I look back and I was like, I was still a child.
Yeah.
And I think a lot is being placed on the kids, especially like they're coming from 18, 19, 20. 21 is normally whenever they're like seniors.
Right.
So I don't know, to like be like 18 or 19, like literally in your teens and working 60 hours a week and trying to juggle
job.
everything.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I need to be making A's. Oh, but I need to win this game. Oh, but I need to do this. It's just like too much of a toll.
Yeah.
And so her foundation, that's what I love. Like, we're just bringing awareness to it and bringing awareness to universities, to coaches. And it is a hard, like, there's like a line where it's like, I don't want to be too soft on them.
Right.
But how do I know when too much is too much? How do I know when I'm being like too hard on them?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to judge that. But I definitely am pushing towards her foundation. And I can like tag it in this, but yeah.
It'll definitely be in the caption for this, and so that
I just want there to be more awareness to
Yeah.
it, that people that you think are balancing things well, they're not.
Yeah.
Like, check on your loved ones, because you never know. A simple text like, hey, how are you doing? It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So just make sure to be checking on your loved ones.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you guys are doing this and helping like others. So, because the fact that it just happened out of nowhere, like the person that you least expected it to happen to, so we definitely should all check on our loved ones and make sure that everybody's good. And sometimes all they want to do is just sit down and talk for 5 minutes just to, de-stress. So yeah, we're excited to be able to help you and your family like promote the foundation and get it out there and make sure that everybody is doing good,
Yeah, and
So,
I really appreciate you guys letting me
of
use
course,
your guys' platform
yeah.
to help spread that awareness as well.
But yeah, Ashley, we're so glad you could make it today.
I'm so glad I can make it.
I know that drive was something else, because she texted, she was like, oh, Lawrence. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to do this tomorrow.
Well, I was like, I'm going to Lawrence tomorrow, so that works perfectly.
Yeah.
We gotta do that drive twice.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you could come in and talk to us and then learn more about you as a person. And today is the KU Mizzou game, so it's just perfect, so people get to see this episode tomorrow, and everything's just lining up perfectly, and I'm just glad we got to do this with you. So to our CruiseLine family, this is Ashley. You want to give them your social media handles where they could like catch you? I'll put it in the captions too as well. But yeah, just tell them what your Instagram is, wherever you want to be able to be reached out at or build your following base. So you go ahead and just tell the audience.
Yeah, my Instagram is ASHHLEYYODER, and then I also have AYO Entertainment, but I have that in my bio. So if you just find my personal one, you'll be able to find my AYO Entertainment page.
All the girls out there trying to get in the game, look up to Ashley. You guys could pick up a few pointers and be successful in the industry like she's been for the last couple of months and years. I appreciate you guys for tuning to another episode of the CruiseLine Podcast. What did we say we do on the CruiseLine Podcast? 3, 2, 1. Ball.
I love it.